What if you realize, okay, go ahead.
I think everyone needs that, like, cause I think everyone does have a purpose, but like people just have a hard time finding it. And when people don't think they have a purpose, they like feel like they aren't like important to society and like they don't have a reason to be here. So I think everyone does, but I don't think it always has to be a job. It could be like just like a trait the person has. Like if they're really caring, their purpose is to like care for other people and like give like their loving touch to everyone.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed that there are some people out there that just love to give? Like, I think some, like Santa Claus, some people, that is their purpose. They feel like that is their purpose, their calling to help others.
I kind of agree fully that like everybody has a purpose, even if you don't know. Like, if your purpose kind of gives you a motivation every day, like, oh, what can I do today that like helps make like the world kind of better? Like even just like being like nice can like just make like can help people out, which kind of gives you a purpose in life.
Does. So what we did here was that we kind of had agreements and disagreements, right? So that's the whole point of this week, is learning how to write about argumentative essays. So if you guys can, just go ahead and put that away. I wanted to ask, do you guys know what facts are? What are facts? Nicole? True statements. Hi.
A biased statement.
A bias statement.
So like I say, cats are easier to take care of than dogs.
That's not a fact.
Yeah, exactly, it's an opinion.
That's an opinion, if I was asking about facts. But yes, so that is an opinion. So if I say I like lemonade, is that a fact? No.
Not an opinion.
That's an opinion. So if I say I was born September 4th, 1983,
Fact.
that is a fact. That is the day that I was born, just like your birth date is a fact. Opinions. Okay, let me say the earth is round.
Opinion.
Opinion.
Oh
wait, no.
I was thinking about Earth. That's a fact. I think it's
That is a fact. That is a
But it's a
fact.
fact because we actually.
Why Earth?
That is a
Why
fact.
Earth is just saying, opinion.
Okay, so we are going to learn a little bit more about how we can find reliable sources for our papers, and how can we tell if they're reliable or unreliable. Because there are some, is everything that you read on the internet true?
No.
No, right? So today we're going to go a little bit into that, so that we can tell what is fact and what is opinion. There we go. Does anybody know of any good websites to look factual evidence up? Offhand. If you're looking up stuff and you want to find out the truth, where do you look? Lily.
Like the news websites. Like if you want to like see something like actually that happened, like the news websites.
Sometimes.
Depends on the
Sometimes because it depends on who writes it. Some people write from their point of view. Is that always true?
Sometimes, but not
The
always.
event may be true, but their feelings about that event may not be. So, here, let me turn off the light really quick. Can everybody see? Okay. All right, so reliable and unreliable sources. Whoa, sorry guys. Okay, so when we're researching, you need to be sure that where you get your information from is a reliable source. And how do we do that? These people that write have to be experts in their field. Has anybody looked up Google for like if you have a headache for a week straight?
Yeah.
And all of the different things it tells you, is that reliable? No. Okay, so when you go onto Google and you ask Google a question, a lot of times Wikipedia comes up. Wikipedia, I'm sorry to say, is not a reliable source. Okay? So, for Wikipedia, anyone can post information on the internet. So when you're looking different websites up, you have to be looking in the right spots. So, for the most part, books that are nonfiction are real, okay? Your social studies book tells actual events. How do we know that? Because it gives you the date, it gives you the place, it gives you the person. So, generally, newspaper and magazines, peer-reviewed journals. Does anybody know what peer means? Peer-reviewed? Like if I'm a doctor and I write something and it's peer-reviewed, what does that mean? Yeah, so there's more than just one specialist on that, and it's all reviewed by specialists. PhD means doctor, so like a doctor dissertation and research, when they do their research, they have to, on the back, has anybody seen a resource page where it gives you all the resources that they used within their writing? They have a whole separate page for that. Did you have a question? So educational websites and institutions. There's a lot of colleges that have links online, and you can actually go to those university links and look at their information that they have. All right, so the URL, does everybody know what a URL is? Okay, pretty much a website or a web page, the link. If it ends in edu, it's most likely an educational institution, so that is reliable. As long as you find online journals and magazines, if they contain a bibliography, which means that there's a certain person that writes it, and it has scholarly internet sources or non-internet sources, meaning books, generally that is good also. And then we have news sources. Be careful, because there are some that believe that certain news sources are biased, meaning it's more opinion based or off of how they feel about certain events. So, unreliable sources. These are gonna be unreliable. So blogs, tweets, personal websites, sites that provide biased information. If you can read something and you think to yourself, I don't agree with that, generally that means that it's a biased website. Like they're putting out their opinions or their feelings about something. Alright. So, does everybody have their computer? I need everybody to take your computer out. Yes, ma'am.
So like, if I said basketball's not gonna be that be a factor because it's the
It's
truth,
what?
because it.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Like, if I said basketball's not because it's the truth, because it's.
But that's your own fact, because you like basketball, so that's a fact of yourself. Now, if you said everybody loves basketball, that would be an opinion, because not everybody likes basketball. All right, so what we are gonna do is we are going to look up different websites. And I am going to help you guys out with that. Give me a second. So, we are gonna start off with here we go. Our school uniforms should be mandatory. Okay, so there's lots of different things that pop up. So we have articles, essays. So let's go to articles. You can tell by this journal resource that this is more opinion-based, right? Because it says, do they really improve student behavior? So, this is somebody's opinion on how they feel. Okay? But if we go to let's see. How do you think you would look up about school uniforms being mandatory? If you want some facts. If you want facts. Writer. Uniforms. That. Okay, so if we look over on this side, of course we have AI that generates stuff, but here we have actual school uniforms, and this is from Britannica. Does everybody know what Britannica means, or what website it is? Okay, so let's click on that one. And this one actually gives percentages. So do you think that this is opinion, or do you think that this is facts? Serena? Yeah, it's facts. So it gives you times or dates, and it gives you percentages. And then it also gives you a link that you can click on to go to where they found that information. So that's how we know when things are facts, that it gives precise numbers or dates, times, or people. And then of course we are on a reputable site to go on.
Well, also in this case, it doesn't tell you the opinion. In this certain topic, it would, if it was an opinion, it would tell you it would tell you yes or no.
It does say it's traditionally favored
It doesn't say yes
by
or
private
no,
institutions.
though. It doesn't say that it's like actually yes or no. It doesn't say that.
Yes, it just gives you facts so that you can make your own mind up on what you think. So we have that. All right. Really quick, while we're on this subject, has anybody heard of plagiarism?
Yeah.
Everybody, right? What is plagiarism, Gavin?
It's where you take like a paragraph or article from someone else and you don't mention their like name.
Yes.
Or want to give credit to them.
Or give credit to them, yes. So, plagiarism is like a huge no-no. We cannot take other people's information and then put it and use it as our own without mentioning their names or their references or where you got that information from. So, in your essay, you do not need to use quotes. If you decide not to take information straight from a certain website, that is fine. Does everybody know what paraphrasing is? Leah?
Like taking like the certain parts, but like putting it into your own words, not just like copying and pasting it. Like,
Exactly. So say you find a really cool article that you found about social media and whether it's harmful or helpful. If you read it and you're like, oh, I want to use this, but you don't take any quotes, you still need to use that as a reference. Like you still need to give credit to the reference for giving you the idea for putting it into your essay. So for your essays, you do not need direct quotes, but if you paraphrase, you still need to cite the reference that you used.
If like citing the reference, do we just like make the works cited page? Like first citing like the source, we just make the works cited page.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that later. I just wanted to make sure that you guys, we were all on the same page for reliable and unreliable sources. Does anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay. So, like I said, in your essay, you don't need to use any quotes. If you do use quotes, don't use too many. Don't use too many. You don't want your whole paper to be quotes from someone else, because then it's not your paper anymore. I do have a few worksheets, or I should say little guides, that you can look at to help you find reputable sources. Let me pass those back. So on there, it gives you like little boxes to check off to make sure that the name of the author or the website is clearly stated, the author or website is qualified and trustworthy. Let me turn on the lights for you guys. And then while I'm here, pass these out too. What I would like for you guys to do is to start looking at resources or websites that you think can help you with your essay. I am going to walk around and I'll just look at some of the websites you guys are on to make sure that they are reliable. Because you will need two reliable sources. If you choose to, if you have a book at home or if you would rather use books, that's fine too. The worksheet that I'm passing out now is how to cite your sources. In high school, you will be writing an MLA. MLA,
That was Mr. Boha.
did you? Okay. I am used to writing an APA. So I made sure everything was MLA because you guys will be using that in the future. So it might take me a little bit of time to get used to MLA because I'm used to writing an APA. But this shows you for books with two authors, it shows you how to set up what it should look like when you put them on your reference page. Yes. One more? Does anybody else need one? Good, okay. But yes, it tells you books, books with two authors, reference books, magazines or newspapers, an online encyclopedia, or a website, just a regular website. But be careful with those websites. So if you guys want to start looking, I will make my way around. And if you have any questions or if you don't know if it's reliable or not, just let me know and I'll come by and check on it for you. Lila. Yeah. Okay, so. It does tell, but those are their opinions. Especially for what we're writing about, for our essays, you may need actual data, like the percentages, the years. If you plan on using that in your essay, you, like I said, you do not have to use quotes. You can read an article that is from a university and use that as like a reference. Okay. Yep, University of Colorado. Yep, that would be.
Also, what do you want to do since I found them?
Okay, has everybody done like a reference page before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that it gets its own piece of paper, or you have to scroll down and go onto a new sheet on your computer. All you have to do is to copy and paste the website. You can copy and paste the website, but make sure you put where you got it from, the date that it was written, who it was written by, and then the title. And it shows you right here on these two. I printed out two different ones, because I like this one better, but that's just my brain. This one's a little bit bigger. But it shows you right there, the website, you put the author, the title, the date that you went onto it, and then you put the URL at the end. So I just want you to find two for today, 2 articles, and then I want you to write it down on a piece of paper for me. And I want you to turn that in before you leave, just so I know that you guys are all on the right track and I know where you're getting your information from. It would be Columbia University. I would just put Columbia. Columbia's fine. University of Colorado, yes. And then is there anybody who wrote this? Okay, no, but there's Jacques put their date that it was written also. Yeah. And then I want you to write a sentence or two about how it correlates to your paper. Like, how does that article correlate to your paper? Or how is it going to correlate? Yeah. Or you can just put Columbia University. That's fine. But having the actual website is what I'm going to need the most so that I can look up your guys' websites. Nope, nope, we're on, I want you to find 2 reliable sources for your paper. Whether, I'll write the question up here again, guys.
I don't know. Brady met me.
Click on it.
Oh, I think I'm also doing the same one, LOL.
Okay, so. Yes. Yep, dates, percentages. So this goes both ways. It depends on which one you're choosing. So it tells you the pros and the cons, so it could be helpful and harmful. So even if you don't take anything like quotes from here, you could read it and then just use that as a reference. Because it does have dates and facts on there, yes. That's funny, that's what, yeah, Serena's using that one too.
I'm also using the same one.
I have a
Are you-
question. So how much is
That's
our
okay.
discount?
That's how they should be set up.
So I have to write the URL.
Is it a huge one?
Well, it's not huge, but huge one, or like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this one reliable?
It's in? The person that owns. No. How it is to explain.
Yep.
The day that you.
Yeah. And the blue that's on in your articles, you can click on those and it takes you to where they got their information from. Yes, and I need the URL, as long as it's not too crazy big.
You need this too.
Do you know what might be a little bit easier, guys, is if you just, I'll put something in Google Classroom right now, and then you guys can just copy and paste and put it in Google Classroom,
What if
so that I have the direct,
What if I already wrote it? Like, I already wrote the URL or whatever.
okay.
Or I could.
Yeah, copy and paste it, both of them. Just for both of them, just go ahead and copy and
But you
paste. I
still
will
want
put
the
it,
paper like this and then like.
yeah, I'll take the papers still, but go ahead and just attach the websites on Google
So
Classroom.
put everything beside the URL, like on your.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do it that way. I'm sorry, I forgot that URLs can be super duper long.
I know. What do we say on our email? No, I never read the website.
Do you remember this last night?
Alright, so I just put it in Google Classroom as URL. And I put submit to. Yeah, just the URLs, just put them in, and I'll come around, or you guys can pass in or up at the end of class, all the other information.
Wait, why does it say submit to?
Let me
Because
see.
you have to submit at least 2 websites. URL.
I don't think this one is.
We have to write 2 sentences about what?
Hmm?
What do we have to write 2 sentences?
How it correlates to your paper, like what are you going to use from it? Okay. There you go. This one's better, cause it's actual research that they made. Alright, but if you do not plan on doing quotations, that's fine.
Wait, did you actually work your
But 2 year old, like,
If you don't plan on using quotations, just read this But-
on your piece of paper.
and
So like
use
this one university.
them as reference.
Like I'm
Like
gonna-
slang for
Yeah,
special.
so.
I mean, you could even do, it depends,
Underneath.
depends on how you plan on putting everything together, 69%, 81% teens,
I agree with that.
use social media. So if you do that, you would put quotations around 69%, and then through 81% teens, and then you would put in your paper where you got that information from. So if you plan on using it that
I
way,
got for 8 free pizzas.
it's actually a good one.
I saw that one.
Wait, 6-4, I have a question, is this online?
You always make the break, right?
Oh, Brad came to university.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the 8.
I'll be honest,
Yes.
I'm not a
Wait, is
chef.
this good?
What's this one? I have to do it.
It was a boy.
We all use it.
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
You guys
good.
hear it?
It's a bow brand.
You know what?
Just one of these.
Alright, how's everybody doing?
You're doing great.
So it's good.
Where did go with Ron helping you?
Doing good, doing good.
How it correlates to,
Nice.
like the information in here and how it goes into your paper.
Okay, and then I just do the other one.
Yep.
Wait, this one,